Thomas Paine, Thomas Paine, Thomas Paine, Sam Adams, Sam Adams, Sam Adams, Benjamin Franklin, Benjamin Franklin, Benjamin Franklin. These men spoke up for what they thought was right. From their courage came such documents as the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution of the United States. From their willingness to speak what was sometimes unpopular but right, we enjoy such liberties as freedom of speech, the right to keep and bear arms, and freedom of religion. There are those who still wish to oppress our freedoms, and there are still patriots willing to stand up and defend life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Men like Zeb Bell, who honor our founding fathers and what they stood for. It's now time for Zeb at the ranch, speaking up and defending your freedoms. Brought to you by Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers and all of the other great advertisers on the program. And now, Zeb Bell.
I need your attention, everybody, all of our friends of this program. We are not broadcasting from Denny's restaurant in Burley this morning. We made a decision last evening with the snow, the rain, the ice, and everything that we would do it next Wednesday, the 21st. So please, I urge you, stay in. Don't get on the roads if you don't have to. Very icy conditions out there in many, many places. But we are broadcasting from my studio this morning, not from Denny's. We will have that Christmas remote at Denny's next Wednesday. God bless you. Here comes Kate Smith, and God bless America. Followed by a Patriot with our Pledge of Allegiance. Good morning. Good morning, good morning. Once again, I apologize, but we had to make an 11th hour decision last night between Thomas at Denny's and myself, and really we're worried about the safety of everyone this morning if that freezing rain would have continued and more ice conditions. So we have delayed the old-fashioned Christmas party at Denny's until next Wednesday. Good morning, everybody, and right now we're brought to you, of course, by our Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you, along with some of our great advertisers like Western Waste Services, always at your disposal. Call them at 734-6969. Without further ado, let's go to the phone lines and our Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You're not on the phone line. What are you doing?
Well, I figured I'd be on the mic this morning, and I just hope that you and Deanne are safe at home and that everything can get better for everybody. On my way to work, we definitely had some hard times trying to get up to the stop signs and everything. So.
Well, and knowing your past track record, I'm so glad you're there safely.
Well, thank you, sir.
All right. Hey, listen, God bless you, man. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
All right. Time for the weather, and the weather brought to you by Cheney Flooring and Home Design, 1228 Oakley Avenue in Burley. Look for that blue door, whatever you need to make your house a home. Kyle and Whitney have put together one of the nicest businesses in this area. All your carpet and flooring, kitchen construction, home decor items. Oh, it's beautiful for Christmas time. Whatever you need, like I said, to make your house a home, from Cheney Flooring and Home Design. Right now, here's the weather.
We're still in a winter weather advisory through about 3 o'clock today, but it is going to be warming up. Looks like rain showers for today, winds out of the southwest right around 11 miles an hour. Still snow possible up in the higher elevations. High of 42, tonight low of 37. Tomorrow, it's going to be really nasty. Winds out of the west right around 30 miles an hour. We are expecting a rain and snow mix. High of 37 with an overnight low of 9. That's going to create some really, really slick road conditions. Saturday and Sunday, it's going to be getting very cold. Partly cloudy skies. Highs are going to be in the mid-teens. Lows in the single digits. And as we go back to work on Monday, partly cloudy and 25. That is your weather for Zeb at the Ranch.
Oh, my goodness, Gina. You threw everything at us but the kitchen sink in that weather forecast. Thank you. Brought to you by Cheney Flooring and Home Design, 1228 Oakley Avenue in Burley. Yes, sirree. Look for that blue door or give them a call at 678-6945. Merv May, let's sell some cattle. Come on in here.
All right.
right, hey, good set of steer calves there. Here to get $1.31, 1.31.
That's the chant of the world's best doggone auctioneer at the Burley Livestock Sale Yard, 1100 Occidental Avenue in Burley. And the number to call for sale information and consignment, 678-9411. Merv May, Cade Rogge, and Lance Udy, the sale that works for you. Sale time this morning at 10 a.m. And it is going to be a ripping good sale. They're going to have actually a sale within a sale. They're going to start with the feeder cattle run at 10 o'clock this morning, and I've got some of the listings of the consignments. And Gary Coleman over at Gooding bringing in 60 head of 6 to 700 pounders. Marty Bennett also up in Gooding bringing in 155 to 600 pound heifers. Manning Ranches over to Cache Valley bringing in a semi-load of yearlings, and Oak Valley Dairy bringing in 125 head of butcher cows. Then around maybe 1 o'clock this afternoon, they're going to start a great big stock cow sale. I want to remind you about that. Neff Ranch over to Arco bringing in 80 head of fancy black, really good calvy cows. And Cuno Ranch, Burley, bringing in 50 head of good young cows. Joe Pavko, the old bull riding buddy from years gone by, over in Gooding, bringing in 40 head of 100 and, let's see, I want to make sure I get that right. Yeah, 40 head of broken mouth cows coming in. And the Silver Dollar Angus Ranch in Oakley, 35 head of older cows. And more broken mouth cows coming in from Dave Hill at Richfield, Edelson Ranch in Holbrook, and Brian Kincaid up at Elba. This is going to be a really good sale today at the Burley Livestock Sale Yard, 1100 Occidental Avenue in Burley, 678-9411. Merv, let's sell those steers.
All right, hey, good set of steer calves there. Here to get $1.31, 1.5, 31, 1.5, 32, 2.5, 3.5, 134, 4.5, 5.5, 135, 50, 135, selling $1.35. Zeb Bell gets bottom again.
Now, one thing I want to mention about Burley Livestock Sale Yard, there will not, underline the word not, be a sale next week on December 22nd. No sale next week on the 22nd. And I know Merv and Cade and Lance, they all wish you a very, very Merry Christmas. But big sale today. Don't you miss it. Wow, I'm running late. What else is new? Merry Christmas out there in Radio Land. And once again, excuse me, I got a little frog in my throat this morning. Can't get rid of it. We made a decision last night at approximately 5 o'clock. I got on the phone and called Thomas over to Denny's, and it was really ugly outside last night. And it was snowing. We had about 5-6 inches here, and then it started to rain and crust over and freeze. Yours truly, man, oh man, I could cover all 4 points of the compass in one easy fall. And we made a decision for the safety of everybody driving to and walking into. We thought we would cancel the old-fashioned Christmas party at Denny's until, and write this down, please. I know I'm going to get a lot of calls. Until next Wednesday, the 21st. We are going to be there next Wednesday, the 21st, for that old-fashioned Christmas at Denny's, 611 Overland in Burley. Don't forget, you can stop in anytime, all the time, for the best of breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Great service, wonderful people at Denny's Restaurant, America's Diner. So once again, I want to remind you, we will be over there for that great big old-fashioned Christmas next Wednesday. We did have to make a change. Calls welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I want to also say thank you to Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. Number to call, 678-0459. They throw open the doors at 7:30 in the morning till 5, Monday through Friday, and they've got all your furnace fillers. I mean, did you hear that forecast? This weekend we're going to be looking at highs at maybe 15, 16, or 17. Who said fat people don't get cold? Anyway, you better check out to make sure that your furnace can run efficiently. Ramsey Heating and Electric, where they handle everything for you, heating and electrical, and provide warm winters and cool summers. Ramsey Heating and Electric. All right, your turn. Calls welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I'm going to say the following, and And those of you in the audience that are the haters, and the ones that, the only reason you listen to this program, some of you, is to pick apart what I say and denigrate me and name-calling and basically you think you are the elite of our society. Well, I'm going to throw this at you. I honestly believe in my heart of hearts, and if I am wrong, I will absolutely apologize. But I believe in my heart of hearts that right now, between now and next Monday, the 19th, when the Electoral College meets to confirm the vote for Donald Trump, something's going to happen. I think that there are so many things that are blowing about in the wind with the liberals and the Democrats, and yes, even the past Hillary campaign. And I have been reading, my lovely bride pulled off the story this morning just moments ago that came out by Michael Cannon of the Washington Post. He also is very, very concerned that there's going to be something done, whether it's through the court system, whether it's through the Obama administration, who knows. But the left will not abide by this election. I don't know if it's going to take a judge to try to create a muddled mess with a stay on the vote of the Electoral College. I don't know if it's going to involve maybe even a month from now, when they're looking at January 20th for Inauguration Day. You would not believe the amount of animus and dangerous activities that we have heard about, again, blowing through the breezes of the newsrooms, as to what the left might try to do on Inauguration Day. Headed up by a person that should be flying over the Rose Bowl with a camera on his head, that's how big he is, Michael Moore, filmmaker, that has actively promoted violence all across the United States on Inauguration Day. Protesters, mob violence. The left is absolutely insane, and they will not take this loss. They can't accept it. Once again, I will reiterate, and I want your opinion. Don't leave me hanging on this, folks. I want to hear what you have to say. If I'm wrong, we get through the 19th, everything is cool, I'll apologize. We get through the 20th of January, I'll apologize again as being an over-alarmist. But right now, I haven't been proven wrong. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Give me a call. Merry Christmas wishes from Magic Valley Carpet, 613 D Street in Rupert. What nice people these are. Absolutely. And you give them a call for your brand new carpet. Treat yourself. You deserve it. Merry Christmas wishes from Magic Valley Carpet. And, of course, Merry Christmas wishes and a Happy New Year from Senator Kelly Anthon, Representative and Speaker of the House Scott Bedke, and a dear friend, Representative Fred Wood. They'd all like to wish you, all their constituents, a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And last but not least, Redder Showcase, 2611 Overland Avenue in Burley. Wow, have they got great Santa buys on everything in the store. So you stop in, and they've got all the mattresses, Serta and Tempur-Pedic, and they've got all the appliances, Whirlpool, Maytag, and Amana appliances. Wow, save money. Treat yourself at Redder Showcase, 2611 Overland in Burley. Your turn. Now, the last couple of days I've noticed that you folks have been sleeping in a little bit. We can't have that. No. You've got to get up and be abounding around the house, so you can give me a call at 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. 10 days till Christmas. No. I'm not ready at all. Neither one of us are. Anyhow, give us a call. I want you to see, do you believe that with the newscasts that you're hearing and what you're reading and and possibly hearing on the radio with other networks, etc., do you believe the Democrats are going to throw many flies into the milk in the next couple of days? Caller, what are your thoughts?
Well, my thoughts are these Democrats should really be ashamed of themselves for putting Barack Obama on such a high pedestal. What a lot of people don't understand is many of the casualties of war that's happened over in foreign countries, the deaths and everything, directly point to him because of his inactivity.
Well, I've got so many angsts against Obama. You couldn't begin to have enough time to sit and listen to me. I have never liked the man. I've been highly prejudicial against his ideology and his politics. I find him to be the worst president ever elected in this country, and he will go down in history as such. I'm sure that history will back me up, and I don't trust him for what he's doing behind the scenes right now, Tony, to be the major cause of problems on also the Electoral College vote next Monday and possibly the inauguration on the 20th. I don't know about you, but I still think with 35 days left of Obama, this man is going to do something insidious to absolutely upset the apple cart. What are your thoughts?
Well, what I think Donald Trump should do is get up at the podium and give an estimate of the number of people who have died over in foreign countries, who've been killed by the terrorists because he did not have the cojones to do anything about it. All he was doing in his 8 years is joyriding around the world.
Well, in some respects, I can't argue with that. I mean, this man has been kowtowing and bowing and apologizing for us, the United States, and our past history for all 8 years of his presidency, and really hasn't done anything. I defy anybody to call me and say, oh, my goodness, what a landmark achievement Obama did in office. Well, what is it? Call me and let me know. But I don't think anybody can come up with that, Tony.
Well, he made Jimmy Carter look like a prince, believe me.
Well, let's not go that far, because I can't stand Jimmy Carter, and I certainly wouldn't look at him with his stupidity over the grain embargo back in the 70s as being prince-like.
Well, I just had to kind of use that as an excuse. Made a bad guy look really good.
Okay.
That's what I was trying to say.
You know, that's kind of like Billy the Kid saying how great Jesse James was, but hey, listen, man, I appreciate you. God bless you.
Okay.
See you later, Tony.
Okay, Zeb, I want to hold you up. You probably got other callers on the line.
All right. Merry Christmas to you and Mary. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Same to you and Deanne.
All right. Thank you. Calls welcome. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Let's not forget our friends, and they are over at Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation. Nick Greenwell, the chief of all the physical therapists there. Man, these people are good. They're smart. They're absolutely so knowledgeable about all the exercises you need to partake in. Caller, I'll be right there, to make sure you get back to being yourself. Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation, 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley. Number to call, please call 678-1191. 678-1191, the best. Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation. Caller, I'll be right there, 30 seconds. Don't forget to Barry Equipment and Rental. And they do have all the equipment to get the job done right. 3 locations, South Lincoln and Jerome, Addison Avenue West in Twin Falls, and a big one at 159 West Highway 30 in Burley. Holy moly! And they're selling used rental Bobcat equipment, 0% interest on 48 months. You couldn't beat that with a stick. So get on in there, equipment rentals and retail equipment sales, Barry Equipment and Rental. Absolutely the best. Caller, thank you, good morning, and Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you, Zeb. You know, the first thing we're going to hear on the news the day that Trump gets in is how many people are dying. That's all we heard when Bush was in. Every single day they told how many people died or how many of our soldiers died. You know, you haven't heard it once, not one time, Not one single time in all the years Obama's been in there. This news media is so corrupt, so dishonest, so horrible. It's just plumb ridiculous.
You know, it's a shame in the best, and has been the best since its inception, country ever in the world's history. We are going by the wayside of countries like Venezuela, Cuba, and others, Soviet Union, with a repression of knowledge and information to the general public. And I really fear what's going to happen in the next 10 years.
Well, I do too, but I've got hope and faith with Trump coming in, and I've got hope and faith that the election goes through with no problems at all. People that are trying to cause them are, insignificant people. They need to be moved off to a foreign country where they can do harm there and not here.
Jerry, I would like to believe everything you said. We're good enough friends that I can say this to you. I absolutely hope and pray that what you said is true. But as an opinion talk show host and looking at both sides of the issue, and I think you will agree with me, you can't trust the nutty left right now. They are capable of doing anything.
I will agree with that. They are, they've got some horrible, horrible, horrible ideas. I know he's working on Planned Parenthood today, so they can keep that around somehow.
Okay, well,
I just hope to heck that when Trump gets in, he just overrides everything he's done, does away with all of these environmental problems. Let's get the environmental problem to where it's working for the good of the nation.
Absolutely.
And the good of the people.
Absolutely.
And the good of the world, instead of what some people have in their minds to make money and to rip other people off with.
All right, Jerry, and to you and your lovely wife and family, God bless you, man. Merry Christmas. Thanks for your call.
And you guys enjoy your day down there at Denny's, even though you didn't go today. You have a wonderful, wonderful Christmas party there.
All right.
Keep on keeping on, and may the Lord bless you and all.
All right, Jerry, thank you so much. Yes, once again, a reminder that we made a last-minute last night call, and Thomas and I decided that with the snow, the rain, and the ice conditions, it would be possibly safer for everyone that was planning on attending. And please, folks, bear with me on this. We're going to have the Denny's Christmas party next Wednesday the 21st, and I apologize for the last minute telling you on the radio and everything, but really, what else was I going to do? I couldn't possibly sit down and start making calls to thousands of people, but I just want to let you know that we were thinking of everyone's safety, trying to get there this morning, and maybe we made a mistake, maybe we didn't, but we're going to have it on Wednesday next week. Thank you very much. Don't forget, too, Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids, and the lovely doctor of hearing and sound, Dr. Christine Pickup. And they're located right across from the Minidoka Hospital Emergency Room, and the number to call, 312-0957. That number again, 312-0957. Hear what you're not hearing now. Get a hearing screening, and you will be so impressed. Absolutely very, very nice people at Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids, 312-0957. Well, I have just a minute. I've got to tell you some wacky, crazy Christmas, anti-Christmas things that are going on at a college in Texas called, let me see if I can find this right here, the Texas Women's University. And we're going to talk about that in just a moment. Don't forget Streamline Precision with my dear friend Tim Vaughn, and I'll give you the number right up front because you're going to want that. Write it down, 431-7314. That number again, 431-7314. Now, Streamline Precision, this is the time of the year that they need to be put to work to get everything ready for you for spring. Absolutely, whether it's steel buildings, Nucor, Prime, Sukup, or whether it's Dairyman, you need remodeling or building new structures, or you need free stalls, commodity storage facilities, well, whatever. Call Tim for a bid right now today. Get it started, get it rolling, get them working for you. Streamline Precision, 431-7314, Tim Vaughn. Okay? Got you covered. Merry Christmas to everybody out there in the audience. And if you're driving anywhere, be careful. I'm telling you, there's been a lot of rollovers. We talked to some people that had been right behind some accidents yesterday, and it doesn't look real rosy out there. And I know they're calling for a high today of maybe getting up into the 40s. It's going to be a slush pond out there. But be careful, please. Don't forget, too, as we look through our little list of things that have to be done here this morning, I wanted to remind you, hold on just a second, I've got to get this in. Bedke Treasure Barn, located at 1558 Normal Avenue on the corner of 16th and Normal in Burley. Now, it goes without saying they have a large and unique inventory, heavy on the word unique. I mean, like if you want love seats or all the way to maybe a salon barber chair planted in the middle of your living room. I love it. And they've got all the tools and they've got collectible toys. This is really quite a place, Bedke Treasure Barn. And Daryl and the crew are open Tuesdays through Saturdays from 10 to 5. Call them at 878-2015 and do your Christmas shopping right there at Bedke Treasure Barn in Burley. Really, really good, folks. Okay. Listen to this, and it just goes, again, without saying, that the kooks and the crackpots on the left and the politically correct, motivated folks that I don't think have enough common sense to come in out of the rain. Now the Dr. Mark Kessler, a professor of multicultural women's studies at the Texas Women's University, is posting a series of tips on how to make December's parties inclusive and multicultural. Oh, yeah. You must plan on having an all-inclusive multicultural holiday party. That means that you cannot use the word holiday party from the get-go. No, you have to take that out. And he said that's absolutely wrong. Holiday has a connotation to being tied to a religious tradition. Oh, really? And he said you can't do that. I recommend, he said, calling your December gathering an end of the semester party. Okay, this this Dr. Mark Kessler also recommends not decorating with Santa Claus, not using a red-nosed reindeer or evergreen trees, and absolutely no, says this dipstick, Dr. Mark Kessler, no sugar cookies decorated with red or green. Oh, you can't do that. Holy moly. And then he goes on to say, avoid religious symbolism, such as Santa Claus. Well, first of all, Santa Claus is not religious symbolism. That shows you how basically dumb or dense this Dr. Mark Kessler is. I'm going to take the time to send him an email and let him know that he's not exceptionally bright. Anyway, he is the professor of multicultural women's studies. I just wanted to hand that to you again. He said, avoid religious symbolism such as Santa Claus, which it isn't, evergreen trees or reindeer, and excellent alternatives are just snowflakes or snowmen. And for heaven's sakes, do not turn on any Christmas music. That will absolutely offend someone, and only pick out songs that are celebratory party music. You know, why are we ashamed of the birth of Jesus Christ? I just can't understand that. And then he goes on to say that instead of scarfing down, those are his words, Little Smokies and other holiday Christmas food, people should be eating gluten-free hummus and gefilte fish. Pardon me while I get really sick. You know, this is absolutely insane. And if this doesn't offend you, then perhaps you're on the left and you are one of the kooks and fruitcakes that is doing their very level best to destroy Christmas. You know, I think we need more nativity scenes. I said this the other day on the program, and I saluted some of the businesses that I saw in Burley. I didn't get a chance to go all over the area. There may be many, many more that I did not see. But of the ones that said on their windows, I believe in him, with the emphasis on believe, and then the manger scene, to each and every one of you, I salute you for honoring Christmas for the real reason of the season and having courage to stand up and put that on the front of your business. God bless you. We need more of that. We need more Yuletide cheer. We need more love. We need more compassion. I had a awful time yesterday trying to get through that story about the Santa Claus back east, that the one dying boy's wish was to see Santa Claus before he passed away. And this man ran to the hospital, ran up to the room, and just as he was cradling the dying boy in his arms, the boy died. We need more of the love and compassion that Christmas has provided. And I'll be honest with you, I don't care a whit, not a whit, if somebody's offended. If you don't want to celebrate, you don't have to. Nobody's putting a headlock or an arm lock on you to celebrate Christmas. But for me and Christians all over the world that celebrate the real meaning of the season, the birth of Jesus Christ, back off. Calls welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Give me a call. I'd love to hear from you. Let's see what else have we got here real quick. Oh, my buddy Doug. Well, he hasn't called in yet. He must be sleeping in. Doug's Alternator and Starter Repair, 635 21st Street on El Fresco Road in Hayburn. Oh, my. He can fix all the starters, alternators, and generators, and he can even sell you new. By golly, he's open 8 to 5, Monday through Friday, and that is Doug's Alternator and Starter Repair on El Fresco Road in Hayburn. Wishing you a very Merry Christmas. Now, if I were a betting man, I would say that we have raised the ire of the man I just talked about. Is that you, Doug?
Yes, sir.
That's what I figured. All right, stay tuned. Don't start talking yet, because I got to get one more ad in there, okay? Right. Hang on. Hold on to the saddle horn there, buddy. Don't forget Pomerelle Ski Area is open. My goodness sakes, yes, sir. It's going to be open daily starting this Friday, December 16th, tomorrow, with resort hours from 9 to 4. Holy cow, you can go slushing down the slopes. And don't forget the lodge and the food service open, ski sport group and private lessons available, ski boarding equipment rentals in full operation, and they're going to start night skiing next week on the 27th. Oh, that's not next week. It's the week after, pardon me, from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. And I'll tell you, they got great Christmas ideas. Get a skiing certificate at Pomerelle Mountain Resort and stick it in the stockings for a stocking stuffer. You're going to love it. Call them at 673-5599. Pomerelle Mountain Resort, absolutely the best place in the world to go skiing. Good morning, Dougie.
Good morning, sir.
How are you?
Good. I just, when the left come out and do their stuff, they want us to ban this, ban that, ban that. I just like to throw it right back in their face and say, where's the tolerance you preach?
They have none.
Us to be tolerant. So be tolerant with us and let us celebrate Christmas.
Doug, right now you know this is true, that well over 80% of the United States celebrates Christmas, and still over 80% of the people in this United States believe in God, believe in the Son, Jesus Christ. And Why are we kowtowing and backing ourselves into a corner with these people? We should be flicking them aside like a fly that's landed on our arm in the summertime.
Exactly. But we are what you'd say, not a tolerant, but we're a compassionate people. We try not to make waves. We try to just live our life. Just let's get along, and you do your thing, I'll do mine. In the end, we'll see who's right or wrong.
That's not working, Doug.
It isn't. And like you've said, it says in the Bible to turn the other cheek, but like you say, you've only got 4 cheeks to turn, and after that, it's got to happen.
I was making a reference to 2 cheeks, but you are right. Anatomically, you're correct. We do have 4, but I'm not going to go that far. I'm just going to say after the second one's turned, they better head for the door and leave me alone.
Yeah, and also in the Bible, you stand up against people who try to oppress you, who try to get you not to believe in God. You stand up for Him. If you deny God, it's not a good thing.
Did the disciples quit and disavow Jesus and God?
No.
All right. Did they get into some very precarious situations and even death?
Yes.
Did they give up?
No.
Did they turn the other cheek and say, okay, I'll go your secular way and forget about God and Jesus?
Nope.
All right, then why in the world are we backsliding into a corner and let the PCers tell us not to have Christmas?
Because the people coming up now are given a trophy for everything. They're not taught to stand up and fight. They're just taught to, just be passive. Be passive. You got a passive population. You can talk them into anything.
Yeah, but Doug, most of this is our fault because we have been on the defensive. We have kind of bowed our head and said, okay, we're sorry. Well, we'll take 2 steps backward. Well, we're sorry again. We'll take 2 more steps backward. Okay, well, we'll take that cross off that tree. Okay, we'll take down that nativity scene. Okay, well, we won't ring the bells of Christmas at our church steeple on Christmas morning. We'll back up. I'm not backing up anymore, Doug.
Yep, and that's what we need to be. Because like I've said in the past, when you got one bee buzzing around you, it doesn't bother you very much. But when you get a swarm of bees, you can make the strongest man run like a girl.
You better believe it.
And we need to become a swarm of bees.
Well, I absolutely am sickened by the lack of offense. Christians have put themselves on the defense. Pastors in the churches have put the whole congregations on the defense. And please tell me why.
Just to be passive. That's the only answer I've got. I mean, they need to be leaders.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, a lot of the problem, and I got another call waiting, but a lot of the problem stems right from the pulpit itself because they're not aggressive enough to really stand up for the Word of God and what the Bible says.
Yep, I think you're right there.
God bless you, man.
God bless you, and Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you. Caller number 2, I'm going to ask you a big favor to stay with me. I've got to get a weather forecast in here. It's very important, and stay with me. Brought to you by the Urgent Cares. Riverview Urgent Care, 382 North Overland in Burley. Twin Falls Urgent Care, 2392 Addison Avenue East in Twin. And Jerome Urgent Care, 133 West Avenue A in Jerome. Whether you need some stitches, you kind of fell off the ladder putting the lights up, or whether you've got a cough, a fever, a sinus infection, whatever, minor emergencies, major care at the urgent care centers. And don't forget they're open 7 days a week. Kyle James and all of his crew wishing you a Merry Christmas. And right now, here's the weather.
We're still in a winter weather advisory through about 3 o'clock today, but it is going to be warming up. Looks like rain showers for today, winds out of the southwest right around 11 miles an hour. Still snow possible up in the higher elevations. High of 42, tonight low of 37. Tomorrow, going to be really nasty. Winds out of the west right around 30 miles an hour. We are expecting a rain and snow mix. High of 37 with an overnight low of 9. That's going to create some really, really slick road conditions. Saturday and Sunday, it's going to be getting very cold. Partly cloudy skies. Highs are going to be in the mid-teens. Lows in the single digits. And as we go back to work on Monday, partly cloudy and 25. That is your weather for Zeb at the Ranch.
Wow. Batten down the hatches, put on the fur coat. Don't forget, the weather brought to you this hour by the Urgent Cares. Riverview Urgent Care in Burley, Twin Falls Urgent Care in Twin Falls, and Jerome Urgent Care in Jerome. Super nice people serving you, like I said, minor emergencies, major care. Caller, thank you for your patience. Go ahead, please.
Sounds like we need to put another log on the fire and keep the fire stoked. It's supposed to be really cold, but the real problem is that so many of the Christian churches have bought into this social gospel thing, social justice, and they're not really teaching the gospel of Jesus Christ out of the Bible. It's all about equality, social justice. Look at the Reverend Wright. I mean, that's a so-called Christian church.
Yeah.
It goes back to the communists consider religion, meaning the Christian religion, the opiate of the people, and it needs to be destroyed. And so you have to look at the roots of all this stuff that's going on. And, of course, our liberal media is just nothing but socialism, a lot of communism in there, too. The Union Theological Seminary, the World and National Council of Churches are just loaded up with these totalitarian socialists. So that's what's happening. A lot of these pastors and so forth coming out of these seminaries are not teaching the gospel of Jesus Christ.
That's true.
They're teaching a social gospel.
Yep.
And they're reinterpreting the Bible. There's new versions of the Bible out that just basically leave Jesus out, and certainly Islam, which is a real threat to this country and the world. They certainly don't believe in Jesus or his divinity. And anybody that thinks you can combine Christianity and Islam is like mixing oil and water. They're totally incompatible.
Right.
And, of course, Islam wants to destroy our Constitution and put in Sharia law. They're not compatible either. So
well, listen, Adrian.
some major problems, but you're right, Zed. I agree with you totally that the Christians have just stood back and done their Christian work within the walls of their church, basically. And some say, well, I don't get involved in politics. Well, I guess we know what happens when that, we've been just being good little Christians, but not really standing up for our freedoms and the values that made this country great. We've always been a Christian nation from its inception until, of course, Obama says we're no longer a Christian nation. And according to him, I guess we're a Muslim nation, I guess.
Well, let me tell you, Adrian. Hey, Adrian.
Your comments are so good, and I appreciate your program so very much.
Well, let me just tell you quickly what happened not too long ago to me. I had a supposed church leader of a church that I've never attended get a hold of me, and we were at a function. He said, well, sometimes, he said, you come on too hard and you come on too blatant, and he says, the problem today is that we need to show more love and compassion and kindness. And I looked at him and I said, really? How's that working out for you right now? We're still taking second place. We're still being pushed into a corner. How much more love and compassion are you going to show and kindness before you realize that you can't even say you're a Christian? They might even come and arrest you. And he didn't have an answer for that.
Yeah, and you're right. They've compartmentalized it, and it started back in the 1850s, really about the time the Manifesto came out. The same way with politicians. George Washington, our founders, all said, you look at a person's moral, personal life, and you pretty much know how his political life's going to be. Well,
that's
they started this compartmentalization, and this is true with Christians as well as politicians. So you look at the private life. Look at Bill Clinton. I mean, he just absolutely reprobate. And they said, oh, he's a great president, a great leader. But the guy was, basically screwing the country the same time he was, doing these other things. So I have to be careful here.
Well, please do. Please do.
I'm getting at. They've tried to segregate out the personal life from the public life.
Yeah.
And they're really one and the same. You can't do it. But this is what we've been taught and what we've been told. These people can be great leaders and so forth. and not abide by the Bible. Same deal.
I agree, Adrian.
Great pastor. And I'm not picking on. There's a lot of great ones out there. I've got a lot of friends that are, and they're great Christian pastors. But we haven't done our homework in understanding what Islam's about. I mean, here we are being benevolent Christians here, but once they get a majority in this Magic Valley, they're going to demand Sharia law, and we're going to be too late, just like Irving, Texas, and some of these other places. So we better put the throttle on bringing these people in here before it's too late.
I couldn't agree more. I got to run and do a commercial break. Adrian, Merry Christmas to you, sir.
Merry Christmas.
Thank
Have
you.
a great day.
Thank you. Oh, Merry Christmas wishes from Butte Irrigation. These are really good folks. Very supportive of our program. They've got 2 locations, 116 South, 600 West of Paul, and a new location at Red Cap Corner on Kimberly Road. They will get you wet with all your irrigation needs. I'll tell you, they're great. Butte Irrigation, wishing you a very Merry Christmas. Along with Alaska's Best. Oh, what a great place to eat. 5047 7th Street in Rupert, and they are voted to have the best fish available in the area of Magic Valley. Oh, they're good. They're good. And nice people over at Alaska's Best. Try to get over there and really enjoy the holidays. Alaska's Best in Rupert. And a big thank you from Streamline Precision. They'd like to encourage everybody to go up to a person in uniform, policeman, fireman, or military, and just say, thank you. Thank you very much. And also, Streamline Precision salutes all the 4-H and FFA, all the boys and girls in the leadership. Man, they are great. Thank you from Streamline Precision, 120 South, 100 West of Burley. And Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. There you go. I got time for one more call. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Happy birthday a couple of days early to Bertha Wood. She's going to have her birthday on Saturday. And so she is a lunch buncher. And Bertha, God bless, happy birthday to you coming up on Saturday. Many, many more. Let's see, what else have we got cooking here? As you know, we're not broadcasting from Denny's right now. We're going to be doing the remote. We had to change it. Weather conditions last night were just kind of ugly. And we made a decision to move it till next Wednesday. And we'll be over at Denny's Restaurant, 611 Overland in Burley. You better believe it. It's an old-fashioned Christmas. Going to be a lot of fun. Don't miss it at Denny's, America's Diner, next Wednesday. And I hope the weather is very cooperative. There you go. Calls welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Oh, and by the way, I want to get this in quickly. The Muslim teenage girl, 18-year-old Muslim woman, who said that she had been harassed by 3 drunk white men who called her a terrorist and told her to, quote, get the hell out of the country. And one of the men attempted to remove her hijab. That was a lie. She absolutely lied. And now the police are going after her for a false police report and lying, and good. You know, there have been so many reports that have been falsified after Donald Trump won the election as an anti-Trump type display. This is just one of them. I've got a list of them here, and I don't have time. But this 18-year-old woman lied. You know what she was doing? She was out drinking, partying. Oh. And was afraid to tell her father, so she came up with this really way out in La La Land story about how 3 drunk white men, Trump supporters, called her a terrorist and assaulted her. And it was a lie. Don't forget your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. All 7 locations serving you. And boy, you need those traction tires to go hither and yon and hither, wherever you're going. And make sure you get the best of snow and ice traction grips. And they've got them all for your cars, your pickups, your SUVs. Yep, buddy, I'll tell you what, just drive in. They can help you. They will help you. Along with all the best in brake service and front end alignments. And please have your battery checked. It's gonna get doggone cold this weekend, maybe only getting up into the teens, so when you turn that battery over, you want it to go boom, boom, boom instead of boom. So make sure you stop in and see them today. Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family and Paul, Daniel on Pole Line in Twin Falls, and my buddy Randy on Overland and Burley. The absolute best. Your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. Going to take a little break for a couple of minutes, regroup, and come back and rehash. All right, we're going to listen to some Christmas music by my old buddy, Santa's favorite elf, Wheels, over at the station, and we'll be back in a few minutes. Don't go away. Oh, Merry Christmas. Good morning, Zeb at the Ranch. And as you can probably tell, we're not at Denny's restaurant right now for our remote for the old-fashioned Christmas party. It has been moved till next Wednesday. Put that on your calendar. We will be at Denny's next Wednesday for our great big Christmas party. Zeb Bell, Zeb at the Ranch, with our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you, along with some of our great advertisers like Western Waste Services.
From the canyons of the Snake River and all across southern Idaho, we're always at your disposal. Western Waste Services, we care about our community, our resources, and this great land. Western Waste Services is lending a hand, always at your disposal. Western Waste Services.
You know, I've been mentioning this over the last couple of days and have had some people call me. Great idea from Western Waste Services. Why not a gift certificate for Western Waste to pick up your grandma and grandpa's garbage, your mom and dad, your aunt and uncles for a year, a month, whatever. They can do it. What a great gift certificate. Call them today. They are always at your disposal. Western Waste Services, 734-6969. Call them right now. Don't forget, oh my goodness, we got some notes we got to get on here real quick before we get the Chamber of Commerce on. Quality's Electronics is 1730 Kimberly Road in Twin Falls. Oh, wishing you a very Merry Christmas. They've got extended Christmas hours, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday, 9 to 6 on Saturdays, and great deals on television sets. The big screen down to the small, like 19-inch to 85-inch. Oh, I got to have one. And Merry Christmas to you from Quality's Electronics. Super nice people at 1730 Kimberly Road in Twin Falls. Now, as I mentioned, today's the big day at the Burley Livestock Sale Yard. They're going to have a ripping good sale starting at 10 o'clock this morning. Excuse me, and they're going to start with the feeder cattle. Then about 1 o'clock this afternoon, they're going to have a great big stock cow sale inside the regular sale. So it's going to be a kind of a twofer, and you're going to be the benefactor of all these great cattle going through the ring today. Don't forget, special stock cow sale today inside the regular sale at the Burley Livestock Sale Yard on Occidental Avenue in Burley, and they are going to start selling cattle in about 45 minutes, so get on over there, Burley Livestock Sale Yard. Excellent. And they wish you and yours a very Merry Christmas. You know, I'm talking about animals. I also want to take just a moment of time and say thank you to Dr. Bill, thank you to Dr. Liz, and the whole crew over at Ark Animal Hospital, 750 21st Street in Hayburn. Number to call if you need their help, 678-1177. They definitely have warm hearts for cold noses. Oh, yes, sirree, Bobby, and it's a mixed animal practice. I mean, large or small, they love them all and can take care of them all. Please give them a call if you need help with your livestock, animals, pets, whatever, 678-1177. Ark Animal Hospital in Hayburn. Let's go over to the Minnecasia Chamber of Commerce right now. A lovely lady, and I'm sorry that we had to alter plans this morning. Kyla, pardon me, how are you?
Hi, good morning, Zeb. Merry Christmas, and no worries. I think everybody is kind of pitch hitting today with the snow, and some of the kids are out of school, and some of them are not out of school, and so I think everyone's just trying to make the best of it this morning, so no worries at all.
What is going on with the Minnecasia Chamber of Commerce right now where we only have 10 days left to Christmas?
We do only have 10 days left till Christmas. We have a lot of folks that have been coming into the visitor center, picking up items to send to relatives or to give as gifts. We have lots of made-in-Idaho products, candies, soups, all sorts of food products, all sorts of books. We've had folks coming in for those Darth Vader T-shirts, which are real popular, and all sorts of fun stuff. So if you're looking for a gift for someone and you want something that's made in Idaho or represents Idaho, we really encourage you to give us a try. We're open 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. And then we're also in the middle of our tiered membership drive. So everyone who's been a member of the Chamber, who would like to become a member of the Chamber, we operate on the calendar year, so it's membership renewal time. So give us a call, also at 679-4793, and we'd be happy to help you out.
Kyla, I had a caller.
Morning. I hear you're snowed in there.
Well, we got a lot of snow, and then it rained on top with a freezing rain. I had a caller the other day after you were on the program with me, and they asked what kind of criteria do people have to fall into to get some of their goods and services sold at the Chamber gift shop?
Oh, gosh, just come on in and talk to us or shoot us an email or give us a call on the phone. We have an interesting variety of products. We have one of my favorite things that we sell here is we have some bowls. They're beautiful ceramic bowls. Like I told you before, they're made with imprints of the leaves from the Arboretum here. They're made by a local gal. She goes out to the Arboretum, collects leaves all year long, and then imprints them into the bowls. And we had a lady come in yesterday and bought 7 of these bowls. They're microwave safe, they're dishwasher safe, so you can use them for just about anything besides just a pretty gift or something to put on the table. And anybody who has gifts like that or photographs, we have some photographers that are local that sell their photography of the area. Just come on in and talk to us, and we'll see what we can do. We do have folks that, they sell their items on a commission. So that's a lot of fun for us because then we get to see what everybody's making and creating out there.
All right. And if they have questions about it, can they just call you on the telephone?
Absolutely. That's probably the easiest way. 679-4793. You can always email us at, info@minnecajiachamber.com or president@minnecajiachamber.com. Come on into the office, 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. We're always welcome. Bring your stuff in if you want us to take a look at it to sell. That's pretty helpful to us. But, yeah, it's just a wonderful way for a lot of local folks to get their wares out there, and we have a lot of fun with it, too. There's some amazing ornaments we have in right now. Those are made over by a gal who has a shop in Rupert, Mad River Laser, and so, just all sorts of fun stuff in here.
All right. Now, listen, I got about a minute left. Anything else going on at the Chamber that you really need to get out in front of the people today?
Well, I'd really like people to know about 2 things that are coming up. On Saturday, we want to remind everyone Pomerel Mountain is open.
Yes.
And so they are doing their Learn to Ski or Board for free. You do need to pre-register, but if you have a desire and want to give it a try, give them a call at 673-5599. This is a wonderful opportunity for anyone 7 years and older for a chance to ski or snowboard for free. And that is a pretty good deal, I think, anytime anything's free. And then the second thing is Magic Valley Philharmonic is having their Christmas concert on Monday at the King Fine Arts Center starting at 7:30. So be sure to check that out. That is just a wonderful way to get into the spirit of Christmas with some music.
All right. Well, Kyla, you always do a great job. And next Thursday is kind of my open house here at my place. If you'd like to come over here to the studio and partake of all the goodies, the eats and everything, please do so. But I thought I'd better let you know about that.
Oh, I am planning to come on out to the Zeb at the Ranch. Are you kidding me? That's awesome.
All right.
Next Thursday for sure.
All right. Well, God bless you. Now, tell all the people in the audience the 10,327 ways they can get a hold of the chamber.
All right. Phone number is the easiest, 208-679-4793. You can also get on our website, check out all the wonderful events under the events tab, and that is at minnecassachamber.com.
Thanks, Kyla. God bless you. We'll see you next Thursday.
Sounds good. Merry Christmas. We'll talk to you soon.
Merry Christmas. Thank you so much. What a nice lady at the Minnecassacre Chamber of Commerce. All of them are. Thank you very much. Oh, we got to pay some bills here. I want to remind you, every morning when we start our program at 8:06, we have the weather forecast, and it's brought to you and paid for by the Cheney Flooring and Home Design folks. Kyle and Whitney at 1228 Oakley Avenue in Burley. Look for that blue door. You know, it really goes without saying that they have whatever you need to make your house a home, a beautiful home. You get a hold of them today. Look for the blue door, Cheney Flooring and Home Design. Really good folks. You know, some of the really good folks that we have had on our program, I know for years and years, and I'm blessed. And that's, of course, Hanson Mortuary at 710 6th Street in Rupert. Oh, my goodness. Joel Heward, the manager, his family, and staff serving you. Well, first and foremost, right now, they want to extend Merry Christmas wishes to you and your family and a Happy New Year. But they all know that every day of life is a different day. And with the passing of a loved one, you should feel free to give them a call and let them help you with all the arrangements, with the highest ethical standards, with unquestioned integrity. Hanson Mortuary at 710 6th Street in Rupert. The number to call, 436-5636. I'll repeat that again, 436-5636. Please, Hanson Mortuary, 710 6th Street in Rupert, serving you. Okay? And while we also have just a little bit of time, I've got some... wait a minute, I knocked it over almost. That would have been a dandy deal, Zeb. Way to go. Christmas wishes from Streamline Precision at 120 South and 100 West of Burley, 678-9204. You know, you can save on steel buildings with their expertise in manufacturing and contracting, and they can build anything and everything for you. They wish you a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year from Streamline Precision in Burley, along with our friends over at Magic Valley Irrigation, 44 East, 500 South of Burley. Jeff and the crew wish you a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and thanks for all you do raising the great food to the farmers and ranchers for the entirety of not just here in Magic Valley, but all over the United States. And last but not least, the Golden Valley Warehouse folks, 468 West, 1000 South of Burley, and they want to thank all their customers, and they feel like they're great big family and friends, and they wish you and your family a very Merry Christmas from Golden Valley Warehouse, 468 West, 1000 South of Burley. Merry Christmas. There you go. Let me see, what else have I got here that we need to get on the air this morning? Any notification? I think I've got that all taken care of. I do know that we're going to have another birthday boy next Wednesday, and we're going to highlight his birthday. He's a pretty special guy, and we're going to highlight his birthday. It's on the 21st, and we're going to do that as we will be having the Denny's Christmas party next Wednesday. Please, I know some people were really upset and felt bad that we didn't have the Christmas party today with the ugly sweater contest and everything. But I'll tell you what, Thomas and I got on the phone last night about 5 o'clock, and it was snowing to beat the band here, and then all of a sudden, while Deanna and I were out taking care of the livestock, it turned to a freezing rain. Oh, that was fun for yours truly to try to make it back from the feedlot all the way back to the house. I was about ready to celebrate all 4 points of the compass. Anyway, we made a decision to hold off on having the great big Christmas festivities at Denny's today, and we moved it to next Wednesday, the 21st. So we'll be broadcasting live and direct over there next week on Wednesday, and have the ugly sweater contest and all kinds of different prizes and singers and everything else. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Let's see, what else have I got cooking here? Oh, yes, let's not forget our great friends, and they are at Let's Ride, 270 Highway 24 between Rupert and the World. My goodness sakes, yes. They're open Monday through Friday, 9 to 6, Saturdays 9 to 5, and they've got all the snow machines. And right now, look outside. You can just spin all over your yard, probably 6-7 inches of snow out there. Well, holy buckets, they got all kinds of brand new snow machines, and they got the timber sled system that's a snow bike conversion kit, and all the accessories, and a great service department. What are you waiting for? Get over there and enjoy. Believe me, it's going to be a fantastic Christmas. Thanks to Let's Ride, 270 Highway 24 between Rupert and the World, where the fun is sold. Really good folks. And you know, some other folks, I was supposed to stop in this afternoon and see our dear friends over at Cameron Siemens Insurance, Highway 24 in Rupert. Yeah, old Todd Siemens, we were supposed to sit down across the desk from each other. Well, due to the weather and the roads and everything else, so we've had to change that. But for all of your life insurance, health insurance, retirement planning, employee benefits, what are you waiting for? Just go to the phone, give them a call, 436-4424. That number again, 436-4424. They are very dedicated and responsive to your needs. Cameron and Siemens Insurance, Highway 24 in Rupert. Really, really good folks. I wonder, I'm going to ask this and see what kind of a response we get, but where did all these dogs come from anyway?
Who let the dogs out?
Oh, my goodness.
Who let the dogs out?
Officer Ken Mort.
Who let the dogs out?
Minidoka Animal Control, Dachshunds, Dobermans, everything. What's going on, buddy?
Oh, same old, just trying to stay on the road.
Is it really bad over there?
Some of the main highways they've gotten cleared off, and they're just wet right now, but a lot of the city roads and the backcountry roads, they're still pretty slick and snow-covered. So.
Ooh, okay. Well, then we urge everybody to drive with caution. Okay, my friend, what's going on in the world of dog biscuits?
Well, today I'm going to feature Klutz again. He was one I featured last week. We still haven't had anybody interested in him. He's a 2-year-old pit bull, about 60 pounds, black and white. He is house-trained and knows some basic commands. He's great with kids, hides from strangers, does not like his head handled. Has some scars on his face and feet and neck and everything from getting through chain link fence and stuff.
Oh,
but, other than that, I mean, he's a really good dog. Does kill cats, so he can't go to a home that's got cats. He is good with some other dogs as long as they're not alpha males. He does not get along with alpha males. He wants to fight with them, so they got to make sure and stuff in it. They don't have that in their home. But he's available for adoption. And I want to feature Astra.
Astra?
Astra. She is a Staffordshire Bull Terrier.
Okay.
She is black and white. She's approximately 5 years old, weighs about 40 pounds. She's very, very friendly and loving, and makes somebody a great pet. She gets along with other dogs as long as they're not don't show alpha characteristics. But she has been in our facility way too long and is starting to get a little kennel stressed. So we're definitely wanting to try to find her a home as soon as possible. Her actual availability for adoption date was September 24th.
Oh, my.
So, like I say, we've had her in there quite a while. She's been in there almost 3 months now. So if anybody's interested in these two, they can reach our facility at 438-2200 and contact me on my cell phone at 670-7268 or Deb Hines with Haberns Animal Control at 670-4348.
You know, I got to say this, and I don't care if it's a Dachshund or a Mini Aussie or a Pit Bull. I can't think, I was considering this while you were talking about Astra and Klutz. I can't think of any place more lonesome than being in a dog kennel all alone on Christmas with no family to love you.
Exactly. I mean, it is heart-wrenching. I mean, and luckily and stuff in that, just before Christmas, we normally get one or two individuals that want to make sure that our dogs have a special Christmas that are stuck in the facility over Christmas, and they'll bring in goodie baskets for all the dogs and that with treats and stuff for us to give to them on Christmas morning when we go in to take care of the facility. But I mean, it is a lonely place on Christmas because basically the employee goes in, cleans, gets out of there because it is Christmas and they want to get home and spend time with their family. So I mean, it's one of those that just it breaks your heart to see the animals inside the facility.
Yeah, you do such a wonderful job over there. So again, Astra and Klutz are up for adoption, and they sound like really good dogs, and they also sound, especially in Klutz's place, sound like they've had a rough life, and all they really need is a 4-letter word called love.
Exactly. That's the way it is with most all of them that are in the facility. They just need that 4-letter word love. Like you said, and I mean, matter of fact, yesterday we got Nellie, who I'd featured last week. We got her adopted to her new family, and we got a little confirmation because the family that actually adopted her drove all the way from Boise in that nasty weather yesterday.
Oh my!
To come down and adopt her, and the lady said when she got home, she got Nellie out of her vehicle. Nellie rode in the front seat or front passenger seat of the vehicle all the way up there, just sat there and watched all the way. Had a great time going up, got to the house, got out. She went up potty, turned around. She says, okay, come on, Nellie, let's go in the house. Boom, she went right in the house, made herself right at home like she'd lived there her entire life.
Oh, you're bringing tears to my eyes. That's a success story right there.
Exactly. I mean, we get a lot of good success stories. So, like I say, if anybody's interested in what we've got available for adoption, all they got to do is get a hold of us at 438-2200. Get a hold of me on my cell phone at 670-7268 or Deb Hines at 670-4348.
You know, this time of the season, as I said just a moment ago, kind of a sad time, and I hope and I pray that next week we're going to be doing our broadcast right here from the studio in my house on Thursday with an open house, of course, which you're invited to. I really don't want to hear anything about any other dogs found for a long period of time. I hope that people are taking care of them. It's going to get cold this weekend, and I urge them to provide them shelter with straw and warmth and warm water. I mean, all those things are really important.
Exactly, and that actually brought up an issue and stuff that I wanted to address today as well. I've been getting several phone calls. Unfortunately, they've been outside my jurisdiction because I'm only in cover Minidoka County. But in some of the other neighboring counties, I've been getting called by individuals that have been driving by and finding dogs that are tied up outside with no shelter, no subsistence, or anything like that. And with this new animal cruelty, animal torture law that was passed this last year and implemented in July, it is now a felony if convicted on this kind of situations. So, if you know of anybody that doesn't have proper or appropriate shelter or providing appropriate food and water for them, and make sure you're getting or letting them know, hey, you know you can be charged with a felony. Animal cruelty, animal torture charge, and I mean, and it'll stick to your record.
Okay. I'm glad you brought that up, Ken, because there's nothing worse. And I know my wife, when we drive to Twin or drive to Burley or around the area, she's always looking for dogs on cold days that maybe look like they're neglected or whatever. I'm telling you what, people take care of your pets and livestock.
Exactly. I mean, it's nothing worse than to show up to a location, and especially this time of year, and find a dog that has not been, or even a cat or another animal that has not been properly cared for, and find them laying there froze to death.
Absolutely. Well, all I can say is Merry, Merry Christmas to you, Minidoka Animal Control, my dear friend Ken Mort, and we'll talk to you next week, buddy.
Sounds great. Merry Christmas to you too, Zeb.
All right. Where'd all these dogs come from anyway? Minidoka Animal Control with my dear friend has been for many, many years, Ken Mort. Thank you very much. Right now, I want to remind you about another dear friend, and that's Tim Vaughn. Hey, with Streamline Precision. The number to call, 431-7314. Oh, my goodness sakes, if you need a new building on your property, farmers, ranchers, dairymen, business owners, whatever, call them. They handle all the Nucor, Prime, and Sukup steel buildings, long-lasting and maintenance-free. And right now, through December all the way to March and the spring, this is their time to build for you. They really want to get to work. Call him, Tim Vaughn, for a bid on what you need today. 431-7314. Streamline Precision, building the best for you. Absolutely. Let me see what else I have here that I have to take care of before we go to Rita Ramsey. I think for the first time all morning I'm kind of caught up, and so therefore we'll go to the phone lines and we'll go over the river and through the woods to Dear Damon and Wheels location. Do we have Rita on the line?
Yes, sir, we do. I'm putting her through right now.
All right. Thank you very much. And a good morning to a wonderful lady that I always enjoy having on my program, Rita Ramsey. Merry, Merry Christmas.
Well, Merry Christmas to you and to all those out there.
All righty. Rita, I said something last hour that I want you to follow up on. I'm not trying to be negative, but I'm trying to be very realistic with what we're hearing right now on the news. I honestly believe that between now and Monday, the 19th, and that's the day the Electoral College meets to basically confirm the vote for Donald Trump, that with everything that's going on with the liberal left to disavow the election of Donald Trump, I am very concerned there's going to be some major problems. What are your thoughts?
Well, there definitely will be, and one of those instances is one that I just read this morning where it says a Colorado judge tells faithless electors they have to vote for Clinton or face jail time, and it says that this judge is telling them that who are suing to vote for someone other than Hillary that they face jail time and a fine if they attempt to vote for someone other than who the voters chose. So there's judges jumping into this. There's everybody. It's going to be nasty, and I guess we'll see if they'll hold the Constitution up and say, you know what, we're going to go by the Constitution, and that's all there is to it.
Rita, let me back up, though, and for the benefit of those that aren't aware of what this judge had said in Colorado, what was the basis for his statement? Go ahead and elaborate a little bit on that.
It says that the two electors wanted to overturn the law that said they had to pull the lever for a candidate who won the majority vote in Colorado, which was Clinton. The reason they wanted to vote for another candidate is to encourage other electors to pull their votes from Trump and vote for a moderate Republican instead. It's just sore loser, and somebody with a platform to stand on is trying to say, hey, you're going to have to do it my way or you're going to end up in jail. And what it does is even though that could go through and nothing would happen because the judge would not have the Constitution or the law on his side, he's saying, I'm the law and you listen to me or we're going to tie you up in court and I'll probably win anyway. And so they try to do it by just intimidating them, and basically it's what it is, and they just want to see if they can get somebody other than Trump and pull enough votes away from Trump that he doesn't have enough to win.
Is there a groundswell of support to make sure that legally and constitutionally that we get this judge thrown off the bench?
Well, it should be, because what the judge told them is that they would have a fine of $1,000 and a year in jail if they vote for someone other than Hillary. So it's kind of like, no, you can't do this and you can't do that, and it's really a sad deal. But what they need to do is every state needs to go by the law. Whoever their states voted for is what they need to stick with and just leave it be instead of trying to jump all around and all over and make a difference. And if that is the case, then Donald Trump is the one who had enough electoral votes to win the election.
But what I'm thinking here is this is just one more fly in the milk of all the innuendos and all the threats of violence and mob violence and everything else that the left is throwing out. I am really concerned. Let's say we get by next Monday the 19th, the Electoral College Day. And let's say we look then at January 20th, Inauguration Day. And you've got the likes of the blimp, Michael Moore, a very overweight, underworked person that has caused nothing but heartache, and he is demanding that there be mob rule and that there be all kinds of protests and violence. How are they getting away with that?
Well, they're getting away with it because people aren't calling them out saying, you know what, we have a Constitution, and the Constitution is the law of the land, and this is the way that it was set up, and this is what we're going to go by. And when you have mob rule, and that's what they're trying to do, you don't have a civil society. And we have to go back and say, you know what, this is the way that it is. The only problem is that you're going to have issues, and this is going to happen. It's happened before. It's going to especially happen now. Is that we have a House of Representatives that is majority Republicans, and if they can get enough changes in the next election, which will be 2 years from now, the very first thing on their agenda would be to bring up Trump on. To try to impeach him.
Yeah.
And they're just sore losers. They just in their wildest dreams can't imagine why anyone, and it wouldn't matter whether it was Trump, it wouldn't matter whether it was Cruz, it wouldn't matter whether it was Jeb Bush,
yeah,
or any of those 16 people that were on that platform to be, running for president on the Republican side. It wouldn't matter. If the Democrats lose, they're going to spend their whole time, the whole time of the presidency, trying to get him put out of there because they just don't think that they should have lost. Instead of saying, okay, we'll go for the next round.
But there is one person that neither you or I have mentioned yet in our conversation, and that's the one that I think is the most insidious of all, the one that I distrust the most, the one I have never cared for, and the one I have denounced as the worst president in America's history, and that's Obama. I honestly think he is the one that's stuffing the rags into the fire, and I think he's the one that's going to be the big fly in the milk before Inauguration Day.
Oh, absolutely. I will be surprised if it goes off without a hitch because he's the one who's instigating. You know, his big thing is, oh my goodness, the Russians they hacked us and they interfered with this election and that's why Trump won and this and that and the other and if that's the case and they were concerned about somebody from on the outside being involved in elections. Why was none of them upset, any of the media or anybody upset, when the Obama administration was involved in the election in Israel, trying to defeat Netanyahu? We know that happened. There was all kinds of reporting. It was all there, and it was all dismissed as, oh, well, it didn't mean anything because Netanyahu won anyway. But, it was okay for them to do that. And then all of a sudden they're saying, hey, Russia hacked in and they did this. Well, first of all, Russia probably had absolutely nothing to do with our elections. They may have hacked in. They've been hacking in for a long time to any of our information because that's what they do. But, it was okay for the Obama administration to get involved in a foreign election. But if they start saying somebody else was here, it's kind of like, no, we can't do that. Well, which side are you on? Staying out of it or going by the law?
Well, yeah, but wait a minute. Let's define what you just said. And this is where I think a lot of Americans are absolutely being misled by the news media. Hacked into does not mean changed the vote. In other words, hacked into might be that information was hacked, but it didn't sway the election. Everybody that I've talked to across the United States that had something to do with this election, they said, no, the vote count actually in the states of Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Michigan came out stronger on the recount until they were stopped for Donald Trump. So hacked into by the Russians does not mean the Russians swayed the vote towards Trump. As a matter of fact, there were leaks of information that absolutely hurt Hillary because of the honesty and the truthfulness of the leaks, showing her to be the criminal she is.
Well, that's absolutely right. And the thing of it is we live in a day and age where we have one-liners, and the press can put out a one-liner and not give any kind of a description of what they mean by that one-liner, and kind of allude to, well, you know, the Russians hacked our computers. Oh, well, that must mean that they interfered and caused everybody to vote for Trump instead of Hillary. Well, that didn't really happen, but that's a one-liner that somebody puts out there, and you've got these people who don't do any type of digging in to see what stories really are and what that information really is about this or that or the other. They just hear it and, oh my goodness, and they just go off on a thing, but that's exactly what's intended. Just give a one-liner that kind of alludes to something, and then if anybody asks, well, I didn't really say that, you know, nobody read the whole thing. They just found that one-liner and just assumed that's what it was and took it, and then you have all of these other news agencies and reporters and all of your anchors on news programs, you know, parroting that one thing, and that's all anybody hears.
You know, Rita, I was thinking about this last night watching the news, and can you imagine, just for a brief moment, and I pray to the good Lord that it doesn't happen, but can you imagine the total chaos, the total just unwinding of our civilization in this country, and the chaos of what's going to happen in the streets, and the demanding and the absolute mob rule if the left tries to overturn this election? I mean, we're going to have such a divisive nation. I don't see how it can ever heal.
Well, that's absolutely right, and that's why it's important that you start talking to people who don't believe the same way that you do, and have discussions about what's really going on, and why do they, you know, why do they feel that they can't be the losers? I mean, we were the losers for the last two elections, and that never happened with us.
That's right.
Yeah, there were protests, there were tea parties that flared up and said, we're calling you out on the carpet, and we want you to make these decisions. But there was never any kind of carnage left in the path that we had gone. When we got done, nobody ever knew we'd been there unless it was actually cleaner than when we'd got there. And so we peacefully met and used our constitutional right to assemble and protest, and that was it.
You know, I want to change gears a little bit here, and I know that you were probably listening this last week when I had a gentleman by the name of John Horvat on my program, and we were talking about a study that he had put together, and it shocked me that there are over 10 million able-bodied men that are acting like wusses and wimps, and they will refuse to go get a job. They will refuse to go outside the house and do anything productive. They have decided they're going to live off their wife or their girlfriend's money or live in their parents' basement. They're not going to do anything. 10 million. What kind of a thorn in the eye of our society are these leeches?
Well, I think the first thing that happened, and this started happening 25 years ago, is that we started making, in fact, maybe even more than 25 years ago, we started making men irrelevant. Men don't need to be here for a family to function. We can live off, the government can take care of the woman who has several kids, and we don't need men to be the protector and the provider anymore. And we started making them irrelevant, and as you have probably noticed, as everybody has, if you start looking back at sitcoms and advertisements and and a lot of the stuff that we see on the media, it makes men look like dolts. It makes them look like you're just a stupid guy. And I can understand a little bit of comedy here and there, but when it's all the time, and that's the general theme, pretty soon men are irrelevant. They don't act like men. They don't have to. A lot of those men who aren't working right now never were taught that, hey, the man is the protector. He's the one who's supposed to be the provider, the main provider, if at all possible, and go out and be a man and do what men do. Be the tough guy. Instead, we've made him irrelevant. We don't need you. It doesn't matter. And a lot of them have taken that seriously, like, well, nobody needs me to do it. And so if I do actually have a wife and kids, my wife can, be the provider, or they let Uncle Sam be the provider.
Yep. Let me ask you this, though, and it was a very interesting conversation with Mr. Horvat, but I am so bitter at the leeches that we have in our welfare system. And I want to clarify, I said this every time I brought this subject up. There are definitely people that need our help and our assistance through welfare programs. But I maintain, and I want to get your response to this, that it would be far more economical and save us, the United States citizenry, a lot of money if a city-by-city, state-by-state, county-by-county review of the people that are drawing on the public trough of money and boot the ones that are leeches, and we would make and save a ton of money for a real welfare program.
Well, we absolutely would, and I mentioned this probably 2 or 3 years ago, that I think that the only way that the system gets fixed is if they say, okay, we're going to have a reset. And what that reset means is that everybody, doesn't matter who you are, whether it's Social Security, whether it's Medicaid, Medicare, disability, any of those things, you need to re-register. And we'll start with the Social Security and have everybody that draws Social Security re-register. And it can be a thing where the Social Security Administration will have helpers, and it might be through like senior citizen centers or whatever, to get all the people in their counties or cities or whatever, all of them re-registered as this is what it is, so that we get them taken care of first. Yep. And nothing stopped. There's no interruption, but those who are receiving it are the ones who are supposed to be receiving it. And if you're not a citizen of this country, you have no business receiving any of this stuff. And as far as disability goes, if there is any kind of a job that you can do, you should be doing it. The thing that really happened that was sad, that really skewed this out, was not only the immigrants here that have jumped onto the system, but we had such high unemployment rates that the Obama administration didn't want those rates to show as unemployment rates.
Yep.
So when those people would get done with unemployment benefits, instead of rolling them back over and saying they're unemployed, they would permanently put them on disability. When you're on disability, and I don't know this for sure, the way I understand it is if you're on disability, you can't work or have any other income, or they stop it. Now, that may be the whole of it. It may not be. I don't know. But I know it's pretty rigid. And so all of those people who were basically just unemployed, they weren't really disabled, ended up on the disability ones. And so you've got many, many more on those. You've got a lot of the people on the Social Security rolls that are not supposed to be there. And it just has to be redone, because otherwise it's just going to collapse.
Well, I would say that right now, the future of our country revolves around 3 words. And I want to see if you agree with me. And they're 3 very simple words: pride and personal responsibility.
Oh, that's absolutely right. And personal responsibility could be at the top of the list, and pride could just sit there and say, you know what, that isn't as big a deal as just everybody being responsible.
Yeah, I would say that if your name comes up and they're going to flag your name as saying, hey, this guy can work, this guy is a leech, this guy's a deadbeat, he's taking the money, he's not doing anything, give him 60 days. At the end of 60 days, you take that file, you rip it up, and you say, so long, Herman, you're on your own because you have been a leech on the public trough way too long. I really do not feel responsible for taking care of these people.
Well, we've got to the point now that it makes it hard for us to be compassionate because we start wondering, are you really, supposed to be getting this because of your circumstances or what? And that's the other thing. When the federal government takes care of everybody, it puts that ownership of being in charge or wanting to do stuff just right out the window. It's like, I think it was... shoot, all of a sudden my mind went blank with his name, but I think it was Adrian called in and said that, this social justice has just made it horrible. Well, there are a lot of churches, and the Catholic Church, the Pope who's in there right now, has advocated this. Let us take care of these people instead of going to the congregations and saying, we have those among us who we need to be taking care of. We've got some widows, and we've got some fatherless, and we've got some people who just absolutely can't take care of themselves, and we as a congregation need to take care of them. And that way you have those local that you take care of, and you meet their needs, and instead of letting Uncle Sam take care of them when it just gets lost in a big mole of everybody and their dog, and many of them aren't the ones that need to have help.
I'm going to take a short break for a weather forecast, and I want to come back and talk to you about Christmas, so stay tuned. Rita Ramsey with us this morning. And right now, the weather brought to you by Pope Phillips, Oaks, Goodwin and Company, CPAs. These people are good. They are the professionals with tax return preparation, tax planning, bookkeeping services, retirement planning. The list goes on. Curtis Pope, Todd Phillips, Rob Oaks, Mitch Goodwin, Lyden Crane. Excellent people. 2 locations to serve you, 1710 Overland and Burley and 625th Street in Rupert. Pope Phillips, Oaks, Goodwin and Company, CPAs. Right now, here's the weather.
We're still in a winter weather advisory through about 3 o'clock today, but it is going to be warming up. Looks like rain showers for today, winds out of the southwest right around 11 miles an hour. Still snow possible up in the higher elevations. High of 42, tonight low of 37. Tomorrow, it's going to be really nasty. Winds out of the west right around 30 miles an hour. We are expecting a rain and snow mix. High of 37 with an overnight low of 9. That's going to create some really, really slick road conditions. Saturday and Sunday, it's going to be getting very cold. Partly cloudy skies. Highs are going to be in the mid-teens. Lows in the single digits. And as we go back to work on Monday, partly cloudy and 25. That is your weather for Zebeth Rand.
I appreciate it, Gina. Thank you. And brought to you by Pope Phillips, Oaks, Goodwin and Company, CPAs. Don't forget right now about year-end tax planning. And, of course, got to send out those 1099s, too. Stop in or give a call to Pope Phillips, Oaks, Goodwin and Company, CPAs in Burley and Rupert. Rita, I thought, honestly, that the assault on Christmas was kind of on the wane. I thought maybe that all the PCers and all those leftists were going to kind of start leaving Christmas alone. It's actually, in many respects, getting worse, and we're hearing more and more about how these people are crawling out from underneath their rocks, and they're demanding that you not say Merry Christmas. They're demanding that holiday parties not be anything but just parties. They don't want anything as far as even the cookies decorated in red and green. I'm telling you, Rita, this is nuts.
Well, it really is, and unless people start standing up and saying, you know what, we're going to celebrate Christmas the way that we celebrate Christmas, and this is the reason why, or if you're not Christian, celebrate in your own way. Very few of us here, people that aren't Christians, making the attacks. It's the left, and it doesn't matter whether they have faith or whether they don't have faith at all. But the fact of the matter is if we want to celebrate Christmas, we should be able to do it the way that we deem most important, which is celebrating the birth and life of Christ. And those who aren't Christian, like perhaps they're Jewish or other faiths, they generally aren't opposed to it. It's kind of like, well, it doesn't matter to me. They can celebrate however they want. And so we just have to stand up and say, you know what, we're going to do this, and I'm not afraid to do it. And this is the reason why Christmas is Christmas, is we celebrate the life and the birth of the Savior Jesus Christ, and that's what we're going to do, and heck with the rest of anybody who doesn't like it.
Yeah, and I'll tell you something real quick. I've only got about 2 minutes left, but that story in Indiana, Knightstown, Indiana, where one person, Rita, one, complained about the cross up on the Christmas tree at the city square, and everybody ran like little mice, and they hid in the corner, and they took the cross down. Cowards running cities. They need to know what the laws are. They need to know what the Constitution says before they start dismantling Christmas.
Well, they really do, and it's sad that we don't have people who will stand up and say, no, there's nothing wrong with that. If you want to do something on your own, you have a spot in the corner square of the town, and you can do something on your own. Just leave the rest of it alone.
Absolutely. Well, listen, next week we invite you, if you want to, and you're able to come on up here and partake of our Christmas party. If not, we'll call you on the telephone. But God's blessings. Rita, you always do such a wonderful job. Thanks for being on the program this morning.
Okay, thank you, Zeb. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Thank you so much. Nice lady right there. Appreciate it. Hey, don't forget Four Paws Bed and Bath. You know what's going on over there Saturday? They're going to have a great, big, huge Christmas party for your dogs and kitty cats and everything. Oh, my goodness, yeah. And they're going to also be celebrating. They've got a grand opening for a brand new addition to Four Paws Bed and Bath. I've been there, seen the addition, and I'm telling you what, folks, it's beautiful. They really care about your pets. Your dogs are going to love it, so stop in. They're going to have lots of giveaways and great food at the party. Great big Christmas party and grand opening on this Saturday, December 17th. And oh, by the way, while you're there, and you know you're going to be leaving like for the Christmas or New Year's holidays, be sure to get your reservations in to keep your dog there for grooming and boarding, and they're filling up quickly. Call them at 438-4444. Four Paws Bed and Bath over in Rupert. Really, really nice people. And speaking of really nice people, before we go to the news quickly, I also want to remind you again about our dear friends at Streamline Precision with Tim Vaughn. Hello, Tim. I know you're listening this morning. He's out in the pick-em-up truck. Well, don't forget to give him a call at 431-7314. Streamline Precision, specializing in putting up the pre-engineered steel buildings. They can work with you on your farm, your dairy, your ranch, your business. And I'll tell you what, dairymen, don't forget, if you're thinking of remodeling or building new structures or needing free stalls, whatever, call now. This is a perfect time to put Streamline Precision to work for you and have everything done by spring. 431-7314. That number again, 431-7314. Tim Vaughn and Streamline Precision wishing you and yours a very Merry Christmas. Absolutely. Coming up next hour, we're going to have the Cassia County School Days, and I believe we're going to have a lovely lady on the air every year for the last 3 years. I think she's been on the program, Pam Young from Declo High School, and we're going to be talking about the wreaths across America. And then at 10:23, we're going to be talking to Thomas over at Denny's Restaurant. And don't miss the last half hour of our program. We're going to have Dr. John Zamirik on talking about how the world is all slanted towards Islam and Sharia beliefs and pushing Christianity in the background. We're going to have him on the air at 10:30. Right now, we're going to send it back over to Santa's favorite elf, Wheels, over at the main station with a little Christmas music. We'll be back in about 7 minutes. Oh, my. Here we go. Hour number 3, Zeb at the Ranch. And Santa Claus wishes from Joe Taylor, my buddy. He's moved over to River Bridge Realty in Burley. Joe, honestly, one of the best real estate agents ever in southern Idaho. And when it comes to buying or selling real estate, please call Joe. Joe Taylor at 425 Overland in Burley. Wishing you and yours a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Along with our friends at Clark's for Shopping at 100 East Main in Oakley. My goodness, they've got that that great sausage from Grandma's Recipe. Bulk, either patties or links. I'm telling you what, it's great. Made in the store. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. From, of course, Clark's for Shopping in Oakley. Oh, my goodness sakes, let's see what else we got. In just a few minutes, we're going to have our guest with us today, and that will be, of course, from Declo High School, Pam Young, talking about wreaths across America, so stand by. That's going to be coming up. Another reminder that, yes, you're saying, well, Zeb, I thought you said you were going to be over at Denny's Restaurant, America's Diner today. Well, wait a minute. Hold the bus, Gus. We made a decision last night at about 5 o'clock because of the weather, the snow, the freezing rain and everything, that we would wait until next Wednesday, the 21st. And then we're going to have the great big old-fashioned Christmas party. Yes, prizes, including the ugly sweater contest and everything. That'll give you more time to get an ugly sweater. And great food, everything at that Denny's old-fashioned Christmas party. So that's going to be next Wednesday, the 21st. So I apologize if it caused anybody any hardship, but that's just the way we had to do it. So there you go. Right now, we're going to give a little preview to Cassia County School Days, and I'm really, really proud of our two sponsors. They've been with us for a long time on this show, and one, of course, being A Child's World at 1308 Overland in Burley. You know, all the family things there. I mean, like the toys and the family games. You know, that's what Christmas is all about. You know, to get underneath the Christmas tree and play those family games and the books and the puzzles. They've got all of it, all the clothing. I mean, please do yourself and your family a favor and stop in and check out your Christmas shopping locally at A Child's World, 1308 Overland in Burley. And also reminding you about the other sponsor, and that's the Ambulatory Surgery Center at 1344 Highland in Burley for your outpatient surgeries to save you money. Colonoscopies, sinus surgeries, all of this. Please call the number and find out more. 677-8888. 677-8888. Ambulatory Surgery Center, along with A Child's World, bringing you School Days in Cassia County. And I think she's on the phone line, so we'll just go ahead and say Merry Christmas to Pam Young at Declo High School. How are you, Pam?
I'm well, Mr. Bell. How are you?
Well, I am in a celebrating mood. I absolutely am excited about Christmas. I know you are too. And how many years have you been participating in Wreaths Across America?
This will mark our 4th year with the program.
Wow. And, okay, now I'm going to turn the ball over to you. It's your turn to run and score a touchdown. Tell us all about the program.
Wreaths Across America is a national program that started actually with Arlington National Cemetery, just outside of Washington, D.C. It is a program that puts a wreath on the grave of every veteran in a cemetery. About 4 years ago, we adopted the Declo Cemetery and enlisted it in the program, and through donations of students and community members, we are able to place a wreath on those veterans' graves. This year, we ordered 150 wreaths. The number of veterans in our cemetery just keeps increasing as our World War II vets grow older. Our ceremony is going to be tomorrow, December 16th, beginning at 10 o'clock. It will be a brief ceremony. This program involves my U.S. history students, and so each of them are given 1 or 2 veterans. They've done a little research on them, written a paper on them. The purpose of the program is to remember, honor, and teach. And that is what I'm trying to do with my students, is give them a chance to experience something, to stir patriotism in their hearts, and to perhaps develop an appreciation for the veterans of our nation and for those who have served so valiantly.
You know, Pam, I'm not going to lie to you. You give me chills down my backbone because you said that so eloquently. Now, I'm going to delve into the students just a little bit. I have criticized education in general, not just here, but across the United States, for not doing enough to let these students know all the sacrifices and the blood, sweat, and tears that was given for them to live in this, the greatest country in the world. What kind of changes, personality-wise, have you seen from some of these students?
It's pretty sobering for them when we take the names and then we go to the cemetery to find those graves. And they're looking through all of the headstones in our cemetery trying to locate just one person that they are to represent. If it's okay, I'd like to read a little bit from one of my students' papers.
Absolutely.
He wrote after our cemetery experience. He said, one of the major problems in our society today would have to be how selfish people are. Many people just worry about themselves and how happy they are. We all need to take the time to consider the sacrifices that many people make for people they don't even know. People that enlist in the military are heroes. They are risking their lives to protect not only their loved ones, but also people they have never met, even people like us in small-town Declo, Idaho.
Wow. I'm afraid you're going to cause me to bubble up a little bit here this morning, Pam, but...
Pretty good from a 16-year-old student, isn't it?
Wow. You know, really, now I'm going to say this. I wish that little note could be read in every classroom from San Francisco, Chicago to New York, and all those students, get your doggone earplugs out of your ear and listen. Listen to what that student wrote. God bless that person. That was very well done.
It was nicely said, and there were several of them. I went through and highlighted parts out of a lot of them. I think that when they are given a chance, they're excited and willing and happy to learn and to pay tribute to the veterans. It's just a matter of taking the time and giving them the opportunity. And that's what we're trying to do with our Wreaths Across America program. I often ask, what is the cost of patriotism?
Yeah.
And for some, the cost has been so very dear. But for students in my class, I think it is just a little time. It's just a little investment of their thoughts and an opportunity to learn, and they are so willing. They are so willing to jump in and pay respect. They are excited to be a part of this program tomorrow.
Let me ask you, Pam, and I'm not saying anything I think out of school here, but you know, in every class you're going to have those that kind of slouch down in their seats and stick their hand under their chin and look bored to tears and act like it. Have you seen any real transitions in personalities by being involved in this program?
I think it's an awareness thing. It's not that... because they're great kids. Our school is so full of great kids, but it's just taking the time and making a connection with them. Once you can connect something that they are learning in the classroom to something in real life, and in this case, it's the 150 veterans that lay buried in our local cemetery. Once you make that connection, they are on board and willing to jump in and help out.
150 veterans in local cemeteries in this area, correct?
No, just in the Declo Cemetery.
Alone?
The cemetery is quite small.
Oh,
we
my.
have 150 graves of the veterans in our cemetery.
Oh, my goodness sakes. Oh, my. Well, now, I guess the obvious question from me is, what about the cost for the wreaths, and how many are still not being paid for? I'll help any way I can.
I would so appreciate that. We welcome donations from anyone in the community or outlying areas. The cost is $15 per wreath, and they are arriving. They're set to arrive tonight. The truck is supposed to be here about 5 o'clock, and they will be taken to the cemetery by someone with a trailer and truck, and then the students will all have that opportunity in the morning to place that wreath. The cost, when we figure up, it comes to $2,250.
Okay.
And there have been generous donations from our local Lions Club, and the city of Declo jumps in. We have students. I've asked each of the students to pay for at least one wreath, whether they go out and fundraise that or donate it from their own money. But that leaves a lot unpaid for, and so we are so willing to accept donations wherever we can get them.
Well, put me and my lovely bride down for 2 wreaths. We'll buy 2 of them. And to what address do people send their checks?
They can just come right with a check made out to Declo High School and right to the school address. That is 505 East Main Street in Declo. The zip here is 83323. We would welcome any and all donations. It helps our cause. It honors our local veterans, and it teaches our children.
Well, I guarantee you, you've heard the old saying, the check is in the mail, but literally the check will be in the mail. And I think this is a great project, and we've been a part of it, I think, for the last 3 years. And what's going to happen at the ceremony itself?
First of all, the first part of it is just placing of ceremonial wreaths. Wait, first we have a flag raising by our local American Legion, and then they place a ceremonial wreath for each of the divisions of the military, plus one for the POWs, MIAs. So those 7 wreaths will be placed. And then we've got a few quotes and speaking parts, excerpts that I took from some students' writings, other than the one I read to you today. And then there is the 2 of my juniors will play taps on the trumpet, and then there will be a 21-gun salute, and then the students will go and place gather up the wreaths for their own assigned veterans. The whole thing is not going to be, the program part will be about 10 minutes, and then probably another half hour to get all of those wreaths distributed around the cemetery. And it's beautiful. If anyone has a chance, they need to drive past the cemetery after tomorrow morning's ceremony. Those green wreaths with their red bows on top of the snow leaned against the headstones, it's beautiful and stirs your heart as we think about the veterans and their sacrifices.
You know, Pam, let me ask you this. Over the course of the 4 years that you've been involved in this program with the Wreaths Across America ceremony, have a lot of the family members of the veterans buried there, have they been a part of the ceremony and offered congratulatory remarks?
There have been a lot of people that appreciate it. Some, we don't have a lot of them. I know my own parents come, obviously, because I invite them, and they each have 2 brothers who were veterans buried in the cemetery. My father's brothers both served in World War II. My mother's brothers, one served in Korea and one in Vietnam, and they are all in the cemetery, so they come. Other members of the community stop by, but it's a lot of the parents of the students who are participating, they come out and be a part of the ceremony tomorrow and feel that appreciation and that moment of honor and respect that we generate tomorrow.
Okay, so once again, the Declo High School students and Pam Young, they're going to have a special ceremony tomorrow in honor of Wreaths Across America. Now, you, me, everybody in the audience, listen up, because Pam's going to give us the address and the cost, and we'll get those checks over to Declo High School. So, Pam, tell everybody once again how they can help.
One more time, $15 per wreath. We would accept any and all donations. The checks should be made out to Declo High School. The address is 505 East Main Street. The zip out here is 83323. And anything done to Wreaths Across America is totally tax deductible. So absolutely, we would welcome all donations.
Well, we'll send ours right away after the program, and I want to say God's blessings to you and all the students, and Merry, Merry Christmas. Don't you dare quit what you're doing. It's a great, great venture.
Thank you, Mr. Bell, and Merry Christmas to you.
All right. Thank you, Pam Young at Declo High School. Boy, isn't that great? I mean, isn't that great? Pam Young, history teacher, and these kids are really, really learning about the sacrifices that have been afforded to them to live, grow, and prosper in this great United States of America. And I meant what I said a few moments ago. I would love to force I mean, literally, if I had to take a great big rope and rope every one of them and hog tie them, these millennials that are condemning our great country and condemning everything that we stand for and condemning everything we've done in the past, and make them just shut up and listen with a piece of duct tape over their mouth and listen to perhaps that letter that one Declo student wrote in honor of paying tribute to our veterans. God bless each and every one of them. Thank you. Pam Young said it was the 4th year, and I urge you people out in the audience to really kind of reach down in your pocket. Whether you buy one or whether you buy 10 wreaths, I don't care, but help Declo High School. And that address, again, is 505 East Main in Declo, zip code 83323. Very well done. Oh, we've got some Merry Christmas wishes to get out here this morning, and we want to remind everybody about our dear friends at Vicky's Country Garden. Vicky is just such a sweet lady, and listen, she's located at 185 South, 600 West of Paul, and now's a great time to call her on the telephone at 431-5667. Why? Because you can line up a time. She'll go run out to the business and line you up with some great gift certificates for stocking stuffers for Christmas, so that the gardeners and everybody that really is into landscaping and everything can use them come next spring. Great idea from Vicky's Country Garden, 185 South, 600 West of Paul. Merry Christmas. And, of course, our friends at Pickett Equipment Company. I've said this so many times. I remember when they started making the equipment in an old farm shop, and now they have got so big and so good, they're shipping equipment all over the world. Merry Christmas to you and yours from Pickett Equipment Company, 976 East Main in Burley, and they are innovative farm equipment for you. Along with AMI 719 Overland and Burley, you'll look for the big 28-foot wrench over their door and go nuts over their bolts. I'll tell you what, they've got the best. Alan and Corey and Eric and Rob and the rest of the crew at AMI in Burley, wishing you and yours a very Merry Christmas. Right now, we're going to have our business salute, and I thought it only fitting that this morning, because we had to, because of the weather last night, cancel our remote broadcast at Denny's Restaurant, America's Diner, for today, and we moved it to next week on Wednesday the 21st. Here with me now is the manager-owner, Thomas. Good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm doing well, Zeb. We survived the weather.
Well, I really felt bad that we had to change things till next Wednesday, but I'll tell you what, it was for safety fact that with the ice and the snow and everything, we really didn't know yesterday at 5 p.m. how bad it was going to be.
Yeah, you really can't predict Mother Nature, so I think safety first is a good caution.
You know, what's the hot item right now at Denny's? I mean, you've got such wonderful menu choices, and I got to tell you that when I do the commercial in the morning about your pancakes and all the different style of pancakes, I'm drooling all over the microphone. It's fantastic. What's going on over there? What are the hot issues?
That's really what it is. I mean, we're pushing our new buttermilk pancakes that we believe are the best pancakes you can buy, money can buy, and we've got all different specialties for the season. We've got pumpkin pancakes and caramel banana cream pancakes. We've got all different types that are to die for. To be honest, I eat pancakes way too much now.
Well, I'll tell you what, when I did the commercial for the red velvet pancake puppies with the white chocolate chips and cream cheese on the side for dipping, oh my goodness, do you make home deliveries?
We're working on it.
Okay. Well, you know, breakfast, lunch, or dinner, I mean, your menu is absolutely fantastic. Now, how many years have you been associated with Denny's now at that 611 Overland location?
We have been there for a little over 3.5 years. It'll be 4 years this April, and we couldn't be happier. We've had so much support from the community. We just don't want to go anywhere. stick around forever.
Well, you have been, of course, a great host for my lunch bunch once a month, and absolutely delicious food. I mean, you can tell when people are happy and they want to go back, because we've seen so many new faces at our lunch bunch. How often during the course of a year is it maybe seasonal, or when do you change the menus somewhat?
We, Denny's is always trying to be innovative and update the core menu, but most of those items stay and are consistent. And then 5 times a year we do an LTO menu that is seasonal and changes. And they've been focusing on the pancakes now. Coming up at first of the year, we're going to be introducing a few new skillets, and it's kind of a skillet menu, which, nothing better than a hot skillet in the freezing cold winter, where they always are a hot topic. So that's kind of the procedure we follow about 5 times a year. That way you've got consistency, but you've got some new items to try out as you're regularly coming in.
One of the things I wanted you to comment on this morning just briefly is, a lot of businesses are saying, we can't find good help. We can't find anybody with any personality. Not so with Denny's.
Again,
I said a lot of people in business are having trouble finding good quality employees, but boy, you really have hit a home run with the people that work at Denny's. Very caring people. You ought to be really proud of your employees.
That's one of the most satisfying things about my job, aside from taking care of the guests to our best abilities. Having people come in first time in the workforce and training them and teaching them new skills that'll benefit them their whole life, and keeping quality staff. We've been so blessed to keep, over a dozen people over 3.5 years since we've started, and we've had good feedback that way, and we're always trying to attract new great employees that want to join that great team. So.
Absolutely. Well, now, once again, we are going to have the Christmas party, even with the ugly sweater contest, next Wednesday at Denny's, America's Diner at 611 Overland in Burley, and we'll have everything set up. I know the weather's going to be a lot better than it was last night, so we'll be all set up and ready to go. And Thomas, to you, your staff, and all the great people there, Merry Christmas, and we'll see you next Wednesday.
We look forward to it. Thanks, Deb.
All right, take care. God bless. Thank you very much. Really, an honestly very nice guy. Thomas at Denny's, with 2 locations, actually. One on Pole Line in Twin Falls, and, of course, the one we're going to be at next week on Wednesday for our big Christmas party at 611 Overland in Burley. So don't miss that. It's going to be really, really good. Let's see, we've got we got one more Santa Claus wish I've got to get on here real quick before we go to our guest, and that's, of course, Santa Claus wishes from Rogge Auction Company. Ron, Cade, Jed, the best auctioneers around. If you're selling your farm and farm equipment, remember Rogge Auctions at 431-0074. Wishing you and yours a very Merry Christmas. Along with Colonel Dale and the folks over at the Book Plaza. Man, these are just flat nice people. Absolutely. At 222 West 11th Street in Burley with Colonel Dale. They've got all the books, the figurines, and when I'm talking all the books, I mean literally thousands and thousands of books. So stop over and do your Christmas shopping at the Book Plaza. 222 West 11th Street in Burley. Wishing you a very Merry Christmas. Right now, we're going to send it back over to Santa's elf, and Wheels is ready to take it. We'll be back in about 3 minutes.
And now, back to Zeb at the Ranch on AM 1230 KBAR. To reach Zeb, call 436-2244 or toll free 1-866-927-4587. And now, here is Zeb Bell.
Thank you very much and welcome back to our last half hour. I've been sitting here for the last couple of days really worried about what's going to happen in this country on next Monday, December 19th, with the Electoral College finalization confirmation of their vote, and then looking ahead to January 20th, Inauguration Day, and all these little chinks in the armor and all these little destructive notes and news items that are coming from the left. And I had this person on my program a couple of days ago, and I've invited him back because of a great article that he wrote in the stream, and it's called "It's Not Islamophobia to Recognize That Sharia Law is Incompatible with the Constitution." And I have with me on the phone Dr. John Zmirak. And John, good morning to you, sir. How are you?
I'm fine. Good morning.
John, I got to ask you, I thought the piece that you wrote for the stream was one of your best. But I want to start by maybe jumping ahead a little bit. In the middle of the article that you had written, you said, and you were talking about, how the Democrats are attempting to nullify the election of Donald Trump. I really would like to start this segment off by having you highlight this, because little by little, whether it's the judge in Colorado or whether it's threats of mob violence with Michael Moore, the filmmaker, or whatever, these people I don't think are going to quit, and I think it's going to get far more serious. Please elaborate on that just a little for us.
Well, I think the left was really set on electing Hillary Clinton. They knew how decisive the Supreme Court is this time, and they were really, really convinced that they had the opportunity to seal up, to sew up forever the Supreme Court, to make the Supreme Court in America into what the European Union is in Europe, a higher authority that can override whatever the voters want and impose the elitist, progressive, anti-democratic, anti-Christian ideology on the ordinary people, and the ordinary people would have absolutely nothing they could do about it. And we came very close to that happening, and they are not going to give up. You know, I just adopted some dogs, some sweet little beagle puppies. If I were waving around taking a stake right up out of their noses and then pulling them away, those dogs would not take it quietly. The left is not going to take quietly the defeat of Hillary Clinton. So they're going to use any means, fair or foul. They'll do anything they can whatsoever to try to win this election, to try to steal this election. And the latest lie, that because WikiLeaks managed to get hold of some emails revealing how corrupt and just disgusting the Clinton campaign was, and the vicious anti-Catholicism, the connections to Islamists, the money from Saudi Arabia and Qatar, the biggest sponsor of ISIS. All those things came out. Those were all true. And they maybe influenced voters not to elect this corrupt autocrat, President of the United States. Now they're saying, oh, that wasn't fair. It doesn't matter that we were corrupt. It doesn't matter that we were bigoted. You weren't supposed to know about that. That was supposed to be secret. It must be the Russians. The Russians hacked the election because they told you how corrupt we are, and you weren't supposed to know. So we get a do-over, like this is a schoolyard version of softball or something. No, it's hardball, and Trump needs to play hardball. If the Democrats do any more monkey business trying to steal this election, he needs to prosecute Hillary Clinton for her despicable abuse of national security. It is time to lock her up.
Let me go a step further on that, and that was very well stated. However, what can the right do? What can Trump's policies and his people do? The way this thing is being formed like a cancerous amoebic cell, it's growing, and judges and people saying, well, we're going to make sure that we arm twist the Electoral College voters. We're going to threaten them. We're going to give them death threats. We're going to threaten them with jail and huge financial fines. I mean, people are scared right now, and I really have a negativity towards next Monday. I'm scared that something is going to get turned upside down.
Well, remember this. There's no way they're going to be able to flip enough electors to elect Hillary Clinton. And I don't think anything's going to happen. But if something does happen, the worst that could happen is the election is thrown into the House of Representatives. In which case, I'm pretty confident the Republicans will be so outraged by that that they will simply elect Donald Trump.
Absolutely.
I don't think they're going to elect Paul Ryan president. If they did, there would be riots in the streets. I think the Democrats are really trying to bring on a civil war. They are that dedicated to stuffing their vision of America down our throats. And we now see just how dangerous, just how tyrannical, excuse me, the Democrats are. We need to keep this in mind for the next election.
Absolutely.
Next congressional election.
Absolutely.
Pardon me. What these people are like.
Let me
burgeoning tyrants. They are desperate for power.
Absolutely.
They think the rest of us are deplorable and that our votes shouldn't count. It's just like when the European Union has referendums and the voters in the various countries vote against it, and their governments force them to vote again and keep voting until they come up with the right result, and then they're never allowed to leave the European Union. Look in Britain. The elites are trying to annul the results of the Brexit referendum because people didn't know what they were doing. They weren't smart enough. The dumb people voted. The deplorables voted. We're just in the Netherlands, they're threatening prison to a politician, Geert Wilders, simply for saying he wants to diminish the amount of Muslim immigration. They want him to go to prison. We're seeing elites throw a hissy fit at the fact that ordinary, decent, common people like you and me are rejecting their policy. And they're going to use tyrannical force wherever they can in order to impose it upon us.
I agree with you. Now, I would say this, and you can dispute this or agree with me, but the loudest silence is from Barack Obama himself.
He didn't get that involved in the election because he wasn't that thrilled with Hillary Clinton. I think he's sitting back and enjoying this. He's eating popcorn.
Yeah. Yeah.
The way people thought that Vladimir Putin was just trying to throw a monkey wrench into America, I think Obama is enjoying throwing a monkey wrench into the incoming administration.
Did you ever anticipate, John?
Any investigation?
Did you ever anticipate, pardon me, we got a little delay there, I apologize for walking on you, but did you ever anticipate in the last 5 years that you would see in this country, the United States of America, getting back to the topic that you wrote in the stream, that we, the United States and its citizenry, would be kowtowing to Islam and Islamic practices? I am very concerned that we're going to see more of a response positively to Sharia law in this country and more acceptance of the Muslim ideology. What are your thoughts?
Well, in my new piece at the stream from a few days ago, It's Not Islamophobic to recognize that Sharia is incompatible with the Constitution, I point out that Islam from the very beginning had a political ideology baked into it. It was always a plan for dominating society. It began that way. Muhammad took over the city of Medina and became a conqueror, took over all of Saudi Arabia, slaughtered Jews and Christians, and then his heirs conquered virtually the whole of the Mediterranean. It was kill the unbeliever, convert or die. Imagine if Jesus had been a bandit warlord who made sex slaves of the women he stole from the men he conquered, the men he killed. That would mark Christianity. Christianity would be fundamentally different if Jesus had been a polygamous warlord. You can't say it's a perversion of Islam, what ISIS is doing, because they're doing exactly what the so-called Prophet Muhammad did. They're imitating him down to the letter. The ISIS is to Islam what the Franciscans are to Christianity. A perfect, detailed, specific reenactment of the founders of the religion.
John, why is it that a lot of people that do not understand the encroachment of the Islamic movement in this country and the proponents of Sharia law coming into this country, and they scoff at people like you and I that can see through the facade and the smokescreen that they are aiming at world domination like you wrote about in your piece? How come people are so naive?
A lot of them don't take religion seriously. They don't want to believe it. They want to be popular. They want to be perceived as sophisticated. Maybe they're afraid. In parts of Europe, people lie about Islam just because they're afraid of being blown up and killed. That's how bad it is. People all over the Netherlands will secretly say what they believe about Islam, but they won't say it publicly because they could get stabbed to death, like one filmmaker was in the streets of the Netherlands, of Rotterdam, I think. It's staggering. What it boils down to is basically Islam is a religion of peace. I'll keep saying that because I don't want them to kill me.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like their gunpoint. You know when hostages pretend that they're being well treated because they're afraid if they tell the truth they'll be shot. That's kind of the situation in much of Europe. And I think in America you're getting some frightened people like that too. And I know some critics of Islam who, have to live at secret addresses and have to have bodyguards because, it's a religion of peace.
The last part of your piece that you wrote in the stream is one that really was interesting to me, and that is the headline, "Time to Change Our Immigration Laws." Please tell me your thoughts and what needs to be done to keep our sanity and keep our peace.
Sure. In the 19th century, a lot of Americans were worried about the influx of millions of Catholics. I'm a Catholic. But they pointed out the fact that in Mexico, in Spain, in the Papal States, Protestants were treated badly. They were oppressed by the government. Their free speech was repressed. And they worried that Catholics in America, if they came in large numbers, would want to do the same thing. This was a perfectly legitimate concern. And the response was interesting. American Catholic bishops very loudly announced that they loved American freedom of religion. They had absolutely no interest in imitating the repressive autocracies of Europe that discriminated against Protestants. And they pointed out that they never thought that. American Catholics would never do that. Furthermore, the Protestant majority in America changed our immigration law such that anyone coming to America had to take an oath that he would not obey the orders of any foreign prince. In other words, the Pope. That Catholics in America would not take political orders from a foreign monarch, namely the Pope. We accepted that. I guess any Catholics who wanted to be secret agents for the Pope didn't want to take that oath, so they didn't come in. We need to change the citizenship oath in America and to make anyone who wants to come in swear that they oppose any religious code that employs coercion.
Absolutely.
Or force on religious questions.
Absolutely.
And we might even want to mention the word Sharia. And so that anyone who comes in has to forswear Sharia. That would keep out truthful Muslims who still believe in Sharia, but also anyone who lied and came in and then later was found advocating Sharia could be deported and have his citizenship revoked for having come into the country fraudulently. As it is now, we have nothing to deal with people who come into the country and get radicalized, like the Boston Marathon bombers, like the San Bernardino shooter, like that Somali in Ohio. They weren't linked to terrorism before they came in. Because they were Muslims, they're like piles of gasoline-soaked rags, waiting for a match to be thrown on them. That's what an Orthodox Muslim is. Someone who accepts Sharia is just a pile of kindling that any radical could set them off, and it would be in accord with their religion to obey.
Absolutely. John, absolutely a fantastic article. It's not Islamophobia to recognize that Sharia is incompatible with the Constitution. In the stream, and the author, John Zmirak. John, good luck with your puppies. Have a great Christmas, and thank you for being on the program.
Thank you. You too.
All right, sir. Thank you very much. This article is in the stream, and I absolutely stream.org, by the way, if you want to read this by John Zmirak. It's spelled Zmirak. Read it. read it. And then next week on Monday or Tuesday, give me a call and let me know your thoughts. He's very forthright and honest about what's happening in this country. But many of our politicians are too dim-witted to understand the problem, as are many newspaper editors and civic leaders in this country, i.e., right here in this area. Let us do the weather forecast, and then I've got time for a couple of your phone calls. I really want to hear from some more folks. Maybe you got a Christmas wish or whatever, but give us a call at 436-2244. But right now, we're going to do the weather, and the weather's brought to you by Scarrows Meats, 331 North Road, Jerome. The number to call, 324-7657. They are changing the way we eat, one delicious bite at a time. And by the way, let me also say that they've got the oven-ready, marinated prime ribs, and they've got smoked turkeys, and they can put together gift boxes of the different meats just the way you want it at Scarrows Meats. Caller, I'll be there in just a minute. Don't go away. We're going to have the weather. I'll be right back. Here's Gina.
We're still in a winter weather advisory through about 3 o'clock today, but it is going to be warming up. Looks like rain showers for today, winds out of the southwest right around 11 miles an hour. Still snow possible up in the higher elevations. High of 42, tonight low of 37. Tomorrow, going to be really nasty. Winds out of the west right around 30 miles an hour. We are expecting a rain and snow mix. High of 37 with an overnight low of 9. That's going to create some really, really slick road conditions. Saturday and Sunday, it's going to be getting very cold. Partly cloudy skies. Highs are going to be in the mid-teens. Lows in the single digits. And as we go back to work on Monday, partly cloudy and 25. That is your weather for Zebeth Ranch.
Gina, thank you. Brought to you by Scarrows Meats, 331 North Road, Jerome, 324-7657. They are changing the way we eat, one delicious bite at a time. Caller, good morning and Merry Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas.
Yes, sir.
Hey, I want to beat this horse one more time about feeding it forward for the senior centers.
Oh, go ahead, please.
Yeah, just think about them this year. At Christmas time, think about them all year long. And I've talked to a banker, and he has informed me that if you contact your senior center, find out where they bank, you can go to your bank and ask to have an automatic withdrawal every month. They will contact that bank, find the account, you sign the papers, and it's done.
Oh, my, that's a great idea.
And, you know, you can do $10 a month. That's $120 a year.
Yep.
And if we get 5,000 people to do $10 a month, that's a lot of money.
That's a whole pile. Yes, you betcha.
And it would help a lot of the seniors. I mean, they're running short. The Meals on Wheels has a waiting list.
Yeah.
And that is sad.
You know, Doug, one of my worst fears, and I've been working with Meals on Wheels and the senior centers for a long time on this program, is Christmas Day. Thinking about the seniors that are maybe sitting with a blanket over them in front of the window, and nobody comes to see them. Nobody provides them a hot meal. Nobody has, maybe they don't have family in the area. And, boy, I mean, to tell you, it makes my old eyes bubble up. I really feel bad and sad for what might happen.
I do, too. I really do. And I've come up with another idea for the local dairies around here, and any rancher that has a killer cow, you know, something that they, you know, all they eat is hamburger. Try donating it to a senior center. I mean, if the dairies around here, we got lots of dairies, and if each one of them donated one killer cow to a couple senior centers a year, it's a tax write-off for them, and it'll give the senior center about 400 pounds of hamburger, and that will get the Rupert Senior Center I talked to, that will get them through 1 month of not having to buy hamburgers.
Oh, my goodness. There's so many things and so many innovative ideas that we can use to help our seniors. You know, I've said this, and you've heard me say it many times on my program. We're so quick to reach into our billfolds to buy uniforms for a Little League baseball team or provide soccer balls for the soccer team or whatever. Wait a minute. Whoa, that's fine. I don't disavow that whatsoever. But what about our seniors that are living possibly all alone with nobody to help them or watch over them?
Exactly. You know, and it doesn't take everybody in the community, but if everybody did step up. And, I mean, everyone in this community, if they donated $5 a month out of every household, the seniors wouldn't have to worry a bit.
All right. Well, Doug, I appreciate you, and I thank you so much for calling in again this morning. A great idea, super idea. And on behalf of my wife and I to you, your family, Merry, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. And one more quick little thing. If you don't belong to a senior center, go join one.
There's a good idea. Yeah.
Whether you participate there, whether you go there or not, go join one, because the more members they have, the better they can get federal funding to help them.
Absolutely. Doug, again, thank you very much.
You bet.
All right. Caller, I'll be right there, I promise. I've just got to get this good word in there. Don't go away. Our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. All 7 locations serving you. You heard what the forecast is. More snow, more cold, more ice. Well, you better make sure you got your traction tires to get through the snow, the ice, and the muck and the yuck. Well, they've got all those tires right there for your cars, pickups, SUVs, with all 7 different locations of your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. Brake service extraordinaire. They are the best. Front end alignment, shocks and struts, and of course batteries. It's going to get really cold this weekend, so make sure you have your battery checked. If it's not going to do the job, get rid of it, get a new one. They've got the best right there. With Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family and Paul, Daniel on Pole Line in Twin Falls, and Randy on Overland in Burley. Your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, the best. Caller, I've got a minute. Go ahead, please.
Well, Zeb, charity and welfare are best when the people have a little money, when there's a little more prosperity, less regulation, less tax. When you have confidence, your consumer confidence is up a 9-year high, investor confidence is up so high that the last time it was this high was when people felt that they had to actually work together 6 months after 9/11, clear back in 2001. And so the thing of it is these things, the senior center, any kind of welfare, when people feel confident and happy and they are more willing to do things for their fellow man. And when they feel depressed and lost and forgotten, they don't know what to do. They're in doubt.
Yep.
And so thank God we are headed in a better place, huh?
I couldn't agree more. And again, from my house to yours, Randy, it's always been a great pleasure to have you on the program. And Merry, Merry Christmas. Thanks for calling in this week. I appreciate it.
Yeah, and let it snow because we got to fill these reservoirs.
Okay, buddy. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
Bye.
All righty. That's going to do it for us this week, and we're going to get ready to put it in the box. And again, a reminder, we will be doing the old-fashioned Christmas party at Denny's next Wednesday. Next Wednesday, we'll be on the air for the morning program. But until next Monday, Zeb at the Ranch, we wish you a very Merry Christmas. And I got to get my bells up here. There we go. And drive carefully out there. Have a great weekend. We'll see you Monday morning at 8:06. Wheels, take it away, buddy. Have a good weekend.